That Sober Guy podcast contains adult content, merciless truth, and emotional nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
Yo, what's up? Thank you for tuning in today. Thanks to Humans for bringing us in. Thanks to you for supporting the show. I'm Shane Raymer. You're listening to That Sober Guy podcast, and we help people stay sober. Coming to you tonight from a DoubleTree hotel room down in Fresno, California, which some refer to as the taint or the armpit of California. No offense to anybody out in Fresno. You know I got love for you out here, but it's hot and it's dry. And I saw a lady running across the parking lot about an hour ago in a 76 station with a shopping cart and a stuffed horse on the top of it, screaming at the top of her lungs in one Birkenstock on one foot and one sock on the other. It's going down here in downtown Fresno, but welcome to the show. Glad you're here. If this is your first time listening, like I said, I'm glad you're here. So we help people stay sober. We talk about drugs, alcohol, recovery. We like to have some fun, get into some health and wellness stuff, have some great guests on the show, and show that you can have a good time without the old booze and cocaine. How about that? Today we got my good buddy Seth Manter back. What's up, Seth? How you doing, bud?
Yo, what up, bud? What up, bud?
Hey, bub.
It's good to be back, man. It's always a good time. Always a pleasure. So thank you.
Always one of my favorites. Best buds since the mullets of the 5th grade, right?
Yeah, for sure. Hey, so how hot is it in Fresno right now?
Let's check on that. It's definitely over. Well, right now when I'm recording, it may have cooled off a little bit because it's in the evening time, but right now it's 91. Earlier today, it was over 100. Tomorrow, it's going to be 106. Now, you're back in Vac. I know it's in Vacaville. It's supposed to be 106, 107 tomorrow there too, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's 97 right now, so it's still hot, bro. And
I hate when my balls sweat.
I want to say it was like 101 or 102 when I got home. Oh, I love it. I love the heat, bro. Like, I love when that sweat drips down my ass crack and gets me all hot and bothered, dude. I think it's great.
I powder my balls. Do you powder your balls?
I do not.
No, dude, you got to try that shit, bro. Powdering your balls is legit. Get a little Gold Bond on that. Oh yeah, it's good.
It doesn't get all like sticky and it's not like super chalky and you create like a paste. I consider like a toothpaste or some shit.
No,
from your ball sweat and the powder and getting just like mixing up. And
It doesn't get chalky. It doesn't get pasty. It actually protects. It protects the sweat down there. And it's got a little mint. I get the Gold Bond mint. Or is it mint? Or it's in a mint-colored bottle.
So you got like a little like tingle down there.
It's a little tingly. So what I do is when I hop right out of the shower, my Uncle Dan taught me this. He said when you get out of the shower and you got a hot shower, your pores are wide open. And so what you want to do is you want to spray your cologne at that time, right? Because the cologne gets in your pores. So when you sweat later, it'll sweat that cologne out and it makes you smell good. And then what I also do is I like to put a nice folded towel down and then I powder my ball sack all under and on top. That way the powder doesn't get on the nice mat that Jess decided to wash and make look nice and neat under the bath. And then I can just fold that towel up or crumple it up in a ball and throw it in the old wash after a couple of ball powders there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a good process there. I'm sure everybody really gives a shit about that right now. Well, if you're still listening, our friend Big Cliff's going to join us today. He's got something going on with banana milkshakes, 37 days being sober, and he's also going to be joining Seth and I on the backpacking trip. That's something else I wanted to get into, Seth. We're going backpacking. As this goes live, actually, shortly after this goes live, we will be on the Pacific Crest Trail outside of Truckee, California, headed out to the lake. And it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful day. I'm really looking forward to that trip, unplugging my damn phone. How about you?
Yeah, it's gonna be a great time, dude. I always look forward to going out into the woods, man. And when we get to bring someone new like Big Cliff out there, like that's just some exciting. So it should be a shit show for sure, but definitely a good time to connect with nature and just get away, man. Is always welcome for me. It's like a little mental reset for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I have to do it. I don't probably do it often enough every time I get out. I realize how often I don't get out enough. I guess that's probably a pretty good point when I'm out there just kind of sitting under a tree, and I'm just like, man, what the hell am I doing? And what am I even talking about right now as I hold my dump for 3 days? Why don't I just always go to poop? I got to stop talking about poop. Okay, I'm going to switch I'm going to switch this conversation right now so people can continue to listen to this. So we're also going to jump into a little bit of trusting in the process, and then Seth, we're going to give you an opportunity later on too to open up a little bit, man. Like, I was thinking about it, and I mentioned this to Jess too. Like, you've been going through some shit in the last few months. It's been kind of like your some aspects of your life probably equivalent to like the saddest country song I've ever heard in my life. So we'll jump into a little bit of that too, man. I love you, man, and always support that. And that's, it's what's good about recovery. We get to talk about some stuff too. But before we do all that, check us out at thatsoberguy.com. You can connect with us on Instagram at realthatsoberguy and on Twitter at Shane Raymer. I actually deleted the Twitter app on my phone, so I haven't checked it in a while. I don't know how to use it. I really don't like it. I know, we got a couple thousand followers on there, so I should probably try to stay connected on that. I'll do my best to do so, but if you want to hit us up on there, I will check that as well. If you're looking for some help finding the right treatment for addiction and mental health, can be tough, and that's why we've continued to partner with Foundations Recovery Network. They stay true to their mission. They have high ethical standards. We've worked with Foundations for a couple of years now. They got treatment centers in a nationwide network, both residential and outpatient programs, and they've built the industry's leading research and outcomes program to fulfill each commitment to patients, not only the patients, but just as important, their loved ones as well. So if you want to learn more, you have some questions, you need some answers, you got a loved one who needs some help, or maybe it's you yourself, you can go to foundationshelp.com/soberguy, or you can call 833-81-SOBER. That's 833-81-SOBER. You can talk with an admissions coordinator. You can get some questions answered, all that good stuff. So be sure to check that out. And then real quick, since I've mentioned it the last couple podcasts, I'll do it one more time. We have a course called How to Navigate the First 90 Days of Sobriety. Is myself, a few doctors, a few friends, people in recovery. It's not a magic potion or magic course that's going to save you by any means, but really what it is it's an opportunity to hear from some people in recovery, both professionals and in the recovery community, of what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, and hopefully share some things that you can relate to that might help you along the way. It's $25 with the promo code half off. Go to thatsoberguy.com, click on courses, and you can sign up there and you can check it out. All right, so Seth Manter, hi, how are you? I'm going to switch over to the view here so I can see you because we're on this old Zoom call. And I realized we only have 40 minutes on the call, and it doesn't give me a timer, I'm just realizing here. So I'm wasting time even talking about it right now. We tried to do this in person, but being that I'm in a hotel room this week and tomorrow night will be busy as we get geared up for this old backpacking trip, let's kind of start there, man. Backpacking, this annual trip. I think for me, this is the 4th or 5th trip we've done. Me and Helmer went on the first trip, I think in 2016 or 2017, in Paradise Lake, Truckee, California. How you feeling about it?
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, man. So this will be my third trip, man, and it's something that I look forward to year round, right? Yeah, and it's always checking, especially this year with our winter and shit, checking to see when people are updating, see if there's, what the trail's looking like. So I take a look at that probably at least once a month throughout the year, man. It's a trip. It's one of those trips that I look forward throughout the year for sure. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Y'all
whittled
packed
down.
Up?
I'm all packed up, dude. Whittled down the backpack. I just waited, bro, and I took a picture. I was going to send it to you. 25
Shut up. No way, bro. 25 pounds?
25
That's
pounds.
Everything. That's your clothes. What are you eating? Fucking nuts, or that's it? A
bro,
slice of salami?
I got like 3 or 4 of the meals, a big-ass bag of nuts.
Mm-hmm. These nuts,
all my breakfast, some coffee. I don't have much snacks.
Yeah.
So, that'll probably be good for me because I'm definitely a snacker. So
Yeah.
if I don't get a snack while I'm out in the woods, then maybe this will be a turning of the tide when I get home, at least for like maybe a week or two.
How about some Cliff Bars? Any Cliff Bars or any protein bars?
Oh yeah, I do have some. Are they Cliff Bars? I think they are Cliff
I think
Bars.
that's what
I got 3 or 4 Cliff Bars. You know the so I think I'm good on food.
Yeah.
You know, tent, sleeping bag, pad, pillow, towel.
Oh, I just washed the towels too myself. I have the micro towel that folds up really small like a soda can. So let us break this down for you guys out there listening really quick who don't know what backpacking is. You never went on a backpacking trip. Basic, and I apologize for those of you who know what the hell I'm talking about already, but I'll keep it short. Basically, you're packing up all of your shit and you're traveling out to the middle of nowhere and you're trying to keep it as light as possible. I think it's about a 7 to 8 mile trek out to Paradise Lake from where we park. And so whatever you carry out there is what you got. So you got to keep your food. We got these things called jet boils that boil your water for you. You got to pack in all your shit. And like I said, once you're out there, if you forget something, you're kind of shit out of luck unless you're going to hike back to the car, which isn't really possible when you're that far out in the middle of the night. So what is the point why we do it, Seth? Why do we do that? I'm just thinking about it. Sounds kind of crazy.
So, I mean, for me, it's, you know, it's connecting with nature. Like I get to go out and be out in the woods, away from normal everyday fucking life. Right.
Yeah.
So I think that, and just again, connecting with nature and being out in the woods, that's why I do it. The backpacking thing, man, like it's fun. You know, there's a sense of like accomplishment, like, fuck yeah, I hiked into the woods with all my shit. Like this is everything that I'm going to need to be comfortable, number one, survive, number two, and then, you know, absolutely have some fun and shit. So, yeah, so you throw it into a little sack and you put it on your backpack and you walk in the woods.
Did you pack your chair or did you leave the chair out?
Bro, so that was the other thing that I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to bring the chair or not, or if I would just post up on a rock. But I got the chair. So I got the chair, the water filter, basically everything I need in 25 pounds.
Dude, how did you do that? I'm already probably at 30 pounds and I haven't put my clothes or food in yet.
Well, so clothes is where I cut back. Mm-hmm. I'm only bringing like one other pair of shorts, a tank top.
I lost your connection there real quick. It says dick on his screen. All I'm looking at right now is it's frozen. So we're on a Zoom call right now. The screen is frozen. Seth's face is up, but it just says dick right across. Are you there, bro? Did it come back or did I lose you? I think I lost him there. So we'll see if we can get a reconnection there. Let's see. I'll shoot you a text here, Seth. Let's do that. While we're waiting, we'll do a reconnect. There we go. Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Now I got you. I was just telling everyone how the screen froze up, and all I saw, I'm not even joking, you guys, right now, and you either, Seth, your mouth was wide open. Okay, and your eyes were like halfway shut, and then it just said "dick" across your forehead because your name.
Oh yeah, I could see the picture that it left me with that you were looking at.
It looked so beautiful.
That's a fucking trip.
Anyways, you brought your chair, or you didn't bring your chair?
Yeah, definitely got the chair in the backpack as well.
Good. That's like an essential item, dude. You got like, there's nothing. It's like when I go out there, by the time I get there, we're pretty fucking tired from the hike, right? And it's nice to just be able to unfold something to sit on and actually just sit down and just relax. Like I look at it as a time to relax too, even though we do get a bit of, hiking in, and then we usually do a little day hike around the lake. It's a time though to just relax and like disconnect, man. There's something about being out there in the middle of nowhere with nobody and nothing but the shit you brought and a couple homies, that is revitalizing, to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going out and having nothing really but the stuff that you bring with you, and peace and quiet for one, and then going to like I think I said a little earlier, somewhere where you don't go every day, you know what I mean? And you get to see kind of how the world operates in that area. So that's, I don't know if that made any sense, but
no, it doesn't. Even when we come back in, even just from a couple of days being out, I remember it was either last year's trip or the year before, we usually stop at In-N-Out on the way home because we're hungry, right? And just the In-N-Outs are, if you've never been to one out here in Cali, they're extremely busy. All hours, they're always packed. And so you go inside after being out in the trees, even for 2 days without a bunch of noise, and it's like, you can feel it kind of, you know what I mean? You feel a little bit of your senses like, man, and we're so used to it day in and day out. I know my mind never turns off. It's like constantly going. So to get a little peace of mind out there, I'm really going to work on this trip too, since it's going to be a little bit more mellow, is really just trying to get into a nice state of meditation and some prayer and just kind of like reconnecting this time. You know, I feel like we're usually pretty busy on these trips, staying busy. And I want to do some hiking and stuff too, but like, I'm really looking forward to just like sitting in myself for a little bit on this one, and not trekking through like 6 miles of snow either, like we did the first time. That shit was gnarly.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to. It's funny, dude, that you say that, man, because I was thinking the exact same thing. I know that, you know, usually we go with 4 or 5 other people, man. And it's kind of a bummer that, you know, the group's not going to be that big. But it seems like when we go on these trips, man, we sit around the campfire at night and say, oh, yeah, let's go here, let's go there.
Yeah.
All while missing out on where we're at exactly at that fucking moment in time.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that, like, I told myself, like, this is going to be a good day and a half that we get to be out there and just sit and be there with that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's something that, you know, obviously that I wish that I could do on the daily basis, like be in the absolute present moment, which it's something that I practice on daily, dude. But this, I think it's going to be so much easier because all the outside influences are all like natural happenings, dude, and super organic. Like we don't have all these other different outside influences to distract us from present moment when we go out to Paradise Lake, dude. So I think that it's going to be a great reset button for me, right? To tell me, you know, present moment is always, you know, the only thing that we have and the most precious. So that's fucking rad, dude. We're going to be on the same kind of wavelength with that.
Oh yeah.
So that's cool.
It is, man. And I think that the other thing I was thinking about too is like, sometimes I know for me, like I'm so comfortable in where I'm at in my day-to-day duties, and I'm kind of, you know, in the grind, doing the thing, working, kids, life, you know, taking care of business and having some great times, and really, really at a point in my life, like where I'm able to enjoy, you know, pretty much every single day. I mean, obviously I have a bad day here and there. But one of the things about that is I get comfortable in that. And so like stepping out into like the wilderness where there's like potentially bears and snakes and nobody out there and just you in, you know, a big vast forest of just nature. There's a little fear element to that still till this day, after, you know, I don't know how many backpacking trips I've been on since I was a kid, you know, with my grandpa and uncle, all the way up until, you know, today, as we get ready for this one, there's still that little bit of butterflies that go on in my stomach. And I've realized like it's a healthy thing for me, like to feel that and to get outside of that comfortableness, even if it's just for 2 days right now, you know, to step outside of that comfort zone and just, and kind of feel, you know what I mean? You know what, bro, Seth, I realized lately, I have a hard time feeling still. some stuff, man. And I'm not even speaking on anything in particular, but I've noticed lately that I let myself get into that grind of stuff that I'm kind of talking about right now, that day-to-day stuff, almost as a distraction, so I don't feel stuff, even good feelings, not necessarily sad feelings or angry or anything like that, but just good stuff, man. And it's hard to sit back sometimes and be in that moment. And so, damn, dude, this weekend is going to be some time to really reflect. So if I forget that, you can be sure to remind me too, if you don't mind, as I'm sitting on that rock up there in the moment, buddy.
Yeah, no. And dude, and aside from that, like, we're going to have some fun. Like, I'm bringing the the snorkel and the goggles, dude. Like, I'm going to go snorkel.
You got your flippers? You're going to tie the flippers on?
I don't have no flippers.
No.
But
the snorkel's
dude,
a
that
great
would be
idea.
some added weight. So we're gonna do some swimming. I'll probably go skinny dipping. I've done that like the last 4 lakes that I've been to for some reason that I've jumped in naked. And bro, like, by no means do I have the bod to be swimming fucking naked anywhere. So that's what makes it so much more awesome, right? Like, it's like, dude, this fat fuck's naked over here, which is so much fun. For sure. But hey, you know what's funny, man? Like, I wanted to talk about one thing that you said about, like, just not wanting to feel sometimes. Like, I think the constant, like, that's something that's always going to be a constant battle, man, is how are you dealing with how you feel? You know what I mean? Like, for me, some days, like, I'm great. Like, I'll welcome any feeling and I feel like I could take on the fucking world.
Yeah.
Other days, dude, like, it's a constant, like, it's tough. Like, I don't want to feel. And, I told Mel that the other night, man, like, we were laying in bed, just before we went, to sleep for the night. And I told her, I was like, man, I just want to fucking right now in this moment, like, every feeling that I'm having, like, I just want to not run. I can't remember if I said run or bury it or something like that, dude. And that was, that's one of those triggers that I need to look out for. Like, oh fuck, like, I'm in trouble or I might be in trouble. You know what I mean? So once I recognize that, like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, that's a warning sign for me. It's definitely time for me to right the ship, dude. And I think, getting back to the trip, going, this weekend, this, that, the other, like, it couldn't come at a fucking more perfect time for me.
Yeah.
Right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Like I mentioned, I mean, you've had a lot going on, in your personal life and, just a lot of stuff, man. And so I actually just told, I can't remember if it was Jess or it was someone close to us I was just talking to about our trip coming up. And I had mentioned that, like, it's funny how things line up when we allow them to, just how they're supposed to. And, with all the stuff you've had going on, I know you've been busy too, man. I know you've been doing a lot on the weekends to try to get out into nature. You've done some kayaking, some camping, man. Like, I want to, keep wanting to say Loon Lake, but it's not Loon Lake. It's
Loon.
Oh, is it Loon? Okay, it is Loon.
Yeah.
That lake. I looked into a little bit of that, and I know you and Mel and the fam went out there and stuff too. And so you've been staying busy, I guess, is my point. And at the same time, just been trying to kind of navigate your way through this shit and do the best you can. And so I'm proud of you, bro. I love you, man. And I know that shit ain't always easy, man. But you're doing a good job every time we get together and talk. And I know you're doing the best you can, bro. So just a little love and little word of encouragement, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, dude. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing, bro. Like, I'm not special. You know what I mean? Like, we all have our shit. Life definitely throws every one of us curveballs. You know what I mean? And for me, the last probably couple, I don't know, maybe all of 2019, has been like curveball city, dude. Like, some awesome, really great things have come in 2019, but on the other hand, like, there's been some real challenging moments, dude, and it's been a challenge, dude. Like, my sobriety and my mind state, all of that shit, dude, has most definitely been challenged over the last couple of months, just kind of with what I had going on, you know, starting with.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to kind of say, and you can maybe get to this if you're going to kind of go into something else first, but like, I'm just wondering, because you said like your sobriety's been tested, and I think a lot of us either have gone through that or maybe are going through it right now. Just with that kind of test that we get. What have you realized? Like, what has really struck you, and it kind of struck a chord, and what have you had to change or want to change, or what have you felt that has changed, just maybe in your outlook, in your sobriety, in anything, man?
So I think, for me, the biggest, the most important is recognizing my feelings, you know what I mean? And kind of where I'm at. I've come over the last couple years, handful of years, I've come in real in tune to my feelings and really listening to myself speak, you know what I mean? And I think when I kind of quiet that, and the alcoholic Seth comes into play. I only say alcoholic in like mental behavior alcoholic Seth.
Yeah.
I start thinking like, the poor me, why am I going through these fucking hard times? You know what I mean? That's when my sobriety is challenged, right?
Yeah.
So for me, sobriety is a mind state, right? It's not about not picking up. I mean, obviously that's a part of it, but it's a mind state for me. And so when I'm outside of my natural sober mind state, that's when I need to like take a step back and be like, holy fuck, like what's going on?
Yeah.
Does you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. I think it's just like you recognizing how you feel and recognizing that brain up there is, I feel like I've been saying this a bit lately, but it's something that's been on my mind a lot lately. That brain is powerful, man, and it can play some dirty tricks on us sometimes and kind of trick us into feeling or acting or behaving in ways that really we normally wouldn't do if we're not buying into that brain up there that's kind of controlling the things. You know what I'm saying? It's not connected to, it's like I think one thing, but I do another sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And trying to connect to the other side of that can be hard sometimes, especially when you're going through shit, like you've been going through. I mean,
for sure. And, the other thing too, excuse me, I just burped, bro. The other thing is, that's been a really big warning sign is when people have asked me like, how are you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially my wife will ask me like, hey, do you like, what's going on? Do you want to talk about it? And normally I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I want to talk about it. I want to let you know what's going on. But the last maybe handful of weeks or months, dude, it's been like, nah, I don't want to talk. I want to fucking bury it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to recognize, or I don't want to verbalize the way I'm feeling, given certain situations, like good, bad, or indifferent. You know what I mean? So that right there, that's huge warning sign for me. So when that happens, that sober mind state that I try and live my life by today, becomes like challenged. Mm-hmm. And that's when it's like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? I need to take a step back and be like, okay, so, what's going on in my life? What am I doing about it? Am I seeking the right help that I need, whether it be, community therapy, family members, friends? Am I, staying stuck in that thought, or am I trying to work my way out of it? Yeah. And, it changes from day to day, dude. Like I get stuck in thoughts, you know what I mean? I'm a human being. good, bad, or indifferent thoughts. And I think once I realize that I get stuck in those bad thoughts for a long period of time, that's another warning flag. So it's just been like these things that have kind of come up and been like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like it was good, you know what I mean? And life has given me these curveballs, has thrown these things at me, and now I have these challenges, and like the sobriety mind state has been challenged. Yeah. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So that's kind of where I get at. And I mean, not to be like, oh, my shit is, my life is horrible, because it's not. Just real quick rundown. I went from, a huge career change to losing the moms, which those were like 2 weeks, you know what I mean, in parallel with each other, losing the dog, and then just dealing with everyday life, really understanding and seeing that, through all of that, like the bills still get delivered. I still got to pay my mortgage. I got to go to work. I still got to be like a fucking good dude. You know what I mean? So it's all of that whole that normal life stuff. And then all that extra shit gets thrown in, and how you deal with that, how you decide to get through it is really, but that'll be up to me to decide to get through all of this shit. And knowing and understanding that I can't do it alone. Right. But I have to take the initiative to put the work in, to right my track, or maybe not go right back to where I was, because that wasn't really working, and find a new way that's going to, strengthen that connection to my sobriety mind state.
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
That was a mouthful.
Well, no, it was good though. I just, when you mentioned your dog, Mr. Joe, man, one of the coolest dogs ever, I just felt like I need to play the fucking banjo for you, man, just because, dude, it literally is like a country song, bro. Like the things that you've experienced a ton of loss in the last 6 months, loss and change, both at the same time. And like a lot of people, a career change is a big deal for a lot of people. Just that alone is enough to kind of get you out of your element. Like I was talking about earlier, your routine. Many of us are very habitual in our routines, especially in recovery, because it's part of what keeps us sober, I think, at least for me, what keeps me on that path. And so you throw that in there, and then all these other loss and change at the same time. I'm like so proud of you, bro, and so happy that you've been able to stay sober and continue to work your way through this, man. And I think it's a testament to having good people around you and doing the work over time. This shit doesn't happen overnight. You haven't, you're still, trying to do your best to kind of work your way through this stuff. But I just want to say, for anyone out there listening who's going through anything, like going through loss or change, you're questioning why, like, man, why is this kind of happening to me? I'm sure those are some of the feelings that you've experienced. And I think that's kind of where it comes into like trust in the process, which is, I heard this great word from Chris Valentin today on my way into Fresno. And one of the things he said, and I'll put this link in the show notes here. It's called Making Disciples. It's the Chris Valentin podcast. You can find it on iTunes. Making Disciples is the title of this particular episode that I heard this in, and it's about an hour and 20 minutes. So there's a ton of good stuff behind this, but the kind of the premise of what he was saying was, between the promise and the palace is the process. Between the promise and the palace is the process. So like, what did that say to me? Well, we have a journey that we're all on. We have things that we want to accomplish, that we want to do, relationships we want to, build, and people we want to serve, and be good parents and spouses and friends and all that stuff. And, there's a promise in that, I feel like for me, for my life, for my own journey. And in that is the process of acceptance for me, in knowing that there's going to be these things that I have to go through along the way. And I almost don't feel even okay with speaking on it, to be honest with you right now, because I don't feel like I have experienced anything comparable to what you've been going through. So I think maybe I'm just going to stop right there.
Yeah. I mean, bro, see, that's where I have a hard time, like comparing,
I know. And I know. And it's like, I don't want to compare either, but I don't know, man. Something just kind of stopped me right there and just said, like, shut your pie hole. Everything's pretty fucking good for you. You don't need, like, I don't even know if that makes sense, but.
Yeah. And dude, and bro, like getting back to the, trusting in the process. I think that's one huge thing that I have learned throughout, the last couple of months, dude, is to just kind of know and trust anything that is taking place in my life, whether it be, good, great, bad, horrible, indifferent, that it is just part of this process. One thing that I always refer to it as this existence, because that's kind of what I see, like my human life as being an existence, dude, and everything that goes on external of me is all part of that process. And as long as I'm able to understand and accept that 99% of the things that go on around me, I have zero control over.
Yeah, man, that's good.
And understanding that it's part of the process. And then also understanding like where I play in that, you know what I mean? What is my role in that process? And I think that that's the hardest fucking thing to do, is once you understand that, okay, like we say it all the time, oh, it is what it is. Well, that's understanding that it's just part of the process.
Yeah.
That's how I see that phrase. It's learning your role in each part of the process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's the thing.
Acceptance.
That that's what I struggle with. It's a daily practice. Like some days I'm great, some days I'm horrible at it. But I think, part of the healing process for me, and I don't think, with the loss of moms, like I will never heal. I'll be okay with that.
Yeah.
And like there never is going to be closure for me or anything like that. And I'm not saying that pessimistically. I'm saying that because I've talked to people that are like, dude, actually, like it's something that you'll deal with your entire life. You know what I mean? So, and that's part of the healing process, and knowing and understanding that part of that will be, there'll be pain, joy, laughter, sadness, crying. If I understand that, dude, like, and then outlie that into life, for me, that's where I want to see myself, is just being able to be okay with everything all the time. And I know that that it's probably like, maybe not obtainable, but I think that, if I could, make steps towards that, then it'd be great.
Well, and I think to that, it's like just being conscious of like my behavior kind of plays into that, or you're being conscious of your behavior. And I have an example of that actually that happened yesterday. So yesterday, it was Cash's last T-ball game, right? And we had our pizza party. I was going to be handing out, the kids awards, and my day though, during the day. So I knew that was coming at the end of the day. And then my work day, you ever have one of those days when things at work they just don't go your way, and you're just kind of like, dude, what the fuck? Like, and it's usually like stupid stuff, like, that you don't really have control over, and you just, by the end of the day, you didn't get done what you needed to get done, and now it's going to put you back, and you're just kind of like, dude, like, why? Why? So it was one of those days, without getting into the details too much, right? Total first world problems, but in the moment, it was pissing me off, and I was really frustrated, and I took that frustration into, into my time off of work where I took my son to his last game, and on our way there, so this is one of those, you all know how these days work. So you have that day, you get all the shit together, you're running a little bit behind, you get in the car, and then you look at the gas gauge and there's no fucking gas in it, right? And you go, are you kidding me right now? So now I'm irritated. I'm already irritated, with the work day and having to load everything up. I'm running late. Now there's no gas. So it's that snowball effect. And what happens is I'm not being conscious of how I'm feeling, how my behavior is acting. I'm only thinking about me and how I feel. I'm not thinking about my little 5-year-old best little buddy dude in the back seat. He's got his last game. He's excited. Like I'm supposed to be excited. I'm only focused on this one track mind of me, fucking my day, this, that, just being a little bitch, like straight up, right? Bad attitude. So we get to the gas station and I'm not shitting you. I go to put the card in and the card doesn't work. I don't know what the card does not work. It's I don't know if it's a chip thing, whatever. And I go, are you kidding me right now? And so I hop back in the car, fucking slam the door, right? you know me, bro, so you can see this shit. The fucking Raymer's coming out, right? Oh no. And I look back and Cash goes, hey Dad, I'm sorry you're stressed out right now. And I go, are you kidding? And it hit me right there. I'm like, dude. And in that moment, I become conscious of my behavior. Like in that moment, I'm like, oh my God, like what? Like this isn't about me. All this shit is not that big of a deal. It's going to work out just fine. So to make a long story short, we made it to the game with plenty of time. I switched gears. I text my sponsor. I said, hey, Fear, page 84. I'm admitting this stuff. I turned my attitude around and we had a great time the rest of the night. And I'm not saying that like, hey, look at you. You're fucking awesome. Like you did what I should be doing that, but I shouldn't be acting like that in the first place. And it's just a testament that even after, almost 6 years without alcohol and drugs and stuff, those behavior, that's what you were talking about earlier. I feel like those alcoholic tendencies, it's not take the alcohol out of it. It's the way we react and the way we deal with stuff sometimes. And if we're not conscious of it, like, fuck, man, I mean, I'm really screwed if I'm not that. So at least I can be conscious of it and give myself a little grace and say, okay, you fixed it. Now be conscious of that next time when all that shit starts to snowball. You know what I'm saying? I know I blabbed a little bit there, but I think it's a good example of that, of just being able to recognize when we act like dildos.
Yeah, no, and for sure, bro. Like you most definitely shouldn't be acting like that. You know what I mean? From the outside looking in.
Like a little bitch.
Yeah, like a little bitch. But on the other hand, man, you said something huge there is having a little bit of grace on yourself and knowing and understanding like, okay, I'm a fucking human being. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm still going to act like a fucking little baby sometimes. Like as long as you could pull yourself up out of that shit. I think that's where, that's where the learning to live that new sober lifestyle comes into play, dude, is being able to pull yourself fucking out and be like, bro, you're such a fucking pussy right now. Why are you acting like this? And especially in a time that's, you know what I mean? Like you said, dude, first world problems. You know what I mean? Like, I was thinking like the other day, bro, I asked myself like, man, am I doing everything right? You know what I mean? And then it's like, well, yeah, you know what I mean? You are, because
doing the best you can.
Yeah. Like, be okay with it. Just be okay with it. So
be okay, man. That's a good little saying right there. Just be okay. I love the be at ease too, man. I often that is one of the little switches that I've become aware of sometimes, and in moments when I'm going through something, that little switch will hit in and just go, Raymer, be at ease right now. Like you can be at ease. It's okay. It's good. I like this one too. It's going to work out just how it's supposed to. It kind of falls in line with that is what it is type of thing, just a different way to frame it up.
Bro, and it's so much easier too than being all fucking worked up.
Yeah.
And your heart's racing, your blood pressure's up there, you're fucking hot. Yep. You're beating on things. It's so much easier. I mean, you might be viewed as aloof or whatever, but it's so much easier just to be kind of okay with it. And, like I laugh at a lot of shit that goes on in my life and that I see. And that being able to do that is fucking huge.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. I love it. What's up, Mel? I see Mel back there. What's cracking?
Oh yeah. It looks like she's off to the store. She's got her
What are you
purse.
picking up, Mel? You picking up some
She got her new
potatoes?
shorts on.
Nice. What does your shirt say? Have a nice day?
Came to say hi.
It says, have a day.
Have a day. All right. I dig it. It's the, what is it called again? Why am I drawing a blank right now? Tie-dye. Is that tie-dye? Kind of tie-dye?
Oh, yeah, Shane, we can see you.
Shane can
But
see.
Shane can see you.
Great.
Oh, you guys froze up on me now. Now we're coming back. We're having some issues with the old Skype tonight, but you're frozen now.
Yeah, no, it's all good, dude. Oh, yeah. I've had the camera off since we got reconnected, dude.
Okay, got it. Hey, I was going to ask you, who invited Big Cliff on this backpacking trip, by the way? Are you there? Oh, I lost him. Okay, I lost Seth. I lost him there. But I think we'll get him back on in just a minute. Well, while we're waiting for that, if we jump back into this with trusting in the process, if I kind of keep that as simple as I can, that says just what it is, in knowing that kind of what I was mentioning just a minute ago, is that everything's going to work out just how it's supposed to, even through the times when I don't think that it's going to work out. Like worrying that I'm going to run out of gas. I mean, I know that's kind of I feel like it's a dumb example, in the moment, but yesterday that was the thing I was worried. I'm late. I'm going to run out of gas. How am I going to do? Well, it all worked out. And if I would have ran out of gas, then it would have worked out just how it was supposed to. I would have had to call a tow truck or something, right? I guess I shouldn't let the gas gauge get down to empty. How about that? Ding dong, there he is. He's back. Little personal responsibility there. But so anyways, I wanted to jump in because I know Big Cliff was supposed to join us. I think he's here, making his way back through the studio. I'm just wondering, though, who the hell invited Big Cliff on his first backpacking trip with us? Was that you or me, or did someone else extend the invite to him?
Bro, this is one of those dudes that I think we were talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
And like we've been knowing Big Cliff, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's a homie.
From being in Vacaville and shit. Like, I've seen him around and shit. Like, I don't really know him. But I think he was listening to the podcast, dude, and we were like, what's up? You want to go backpacking with us? Fucking reach out. Yeah. And we're like, oh, shit. You guess who hit me up? Big Cliff. And I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. I want this guy to go with us. So.
All right. Well, let's do it. We'll give him about 5, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll get to the end of the show, and we'll wrap this thing up. But, I actually see him coming through right there. There he is.
Big Cliff, what's up, son?
Yo, what's up, Seth? How you doing, man? Shit. Dude, this is hella elegant up in here, man. I just be loving to be here. Thank you for having me on the podcast. Why'd I say it like that? The podcast. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? What'd you do today?
Man, dude, I just chilled, man. I've just been sitting around, man. I've been having this issue, man, with these, So, okay, let me start out, man. First off, I woke up, man. I ate some cereal, man. I be loving on them peanut butter Reese's. You ever had those? The peanut butter balls? This is so good, man. I be using some almond milk, just trying to get a little bit of health, because I'm a health nut like that. I be trying to stay sober and stuff, so I get a little bit of almond milk up in there. And then, man, I walked over to the store, and I got me a couple of bags of them hot peanuts. That's so good. So good, man. But I started off with a little meditation, a little bit of prayer. Man, we just doing good. I'm 37 days sober, just loving life, and it's just so hella elegant. Oh man, it's so good.
Hey, you said hot peanuts with your fucking peanut butter cereal and almond milk? Hey, that shit, what does that 7-Eleven bill look like? You going in there buying fucking almond milk and shit.
Oh man, it's so good.
That's your spot.
I love it. So a lot of people know that I struggle with the booze and the drugs. Obviously, that's why I'm just back up in this recovery space. But I also struggle with the sugar. So I had big problems with the triple cupcakes. You ever seen those, the Hostess ones you get at 7-Eleven? I gave those up, but now here's my issue. I recently found out that Sonic has got the best banana milkshakes, and they're all half off after 8 o'clock. So I've just been going there like every night, man, just getting these banana milkshakes and maybe like a grilled cheese. I just crush it on my way home. I got to hide the evidence so nobody sees it. And I'm spending a lot of money, so I've been really working on this lately, but I'm not having, I mean, what should I do? I don't even know.
Hey, good thing you're going backpacking with us, man. We'll get you out of here, away from Sonic. There ain't no Sonic in paradise, bro.
Oh,
so are you bringing any milkshakes or grilled cheese up there with you, or are we just gonna have like a little 2-day getaway and you'll be off of them? Bro?
Oh man, it's gonna be so dope, man. I'm so ready. I've got my barbecue. I'm about to strap on my barbecue to the back of the backpack. I got me a big sack of coal so we can barbecue up some chicken. I'm about to pack in some ribs. And man, so look, here's what I did about the milkshakes. I saw this powder form that they got at I think it's at the Costco. I'll be going up in there, I get a big ass box of it. And then I can come in and I can just add water and I can get the banana milkshake flavor, but it's not as good, but it's just as good. I'm about to pull out my little fold out table. I got the hot nuts. I got everything going on. Big Cliff's about to party. Who's going to party? Who's going to party?
Yeah. I can't wait.
It's going to be so fun. I heard you're bringing a snorkel too, man. I'm about to bring a snorkel. Yeah, should I bring my flippers? I'll just strap them on the back. Like a sun?
Hell yeah. Hey, will you carry the snorkel for me? So
I will. I'll carry the snorkel. But hey, look, here's one issue that I was thinking about. If we're going backpacking into the woods, we're going about, a few miles in. I got all my stuff. I'm about to pack in all my stuff too. I got my water socks. I'm so stoked on my water socks. I'm about to put them bad boys on. But what do I do when I got to take a shit? What does that look like in the woods? Do I dig a hole? Do I go in the lake? What do I do?
So for me, like I strip down, like all clothes off.
Naked?
Yeah, everything, butt ass naked.
Damn, son.
Dig a little hole if you can. Squat, push, just like you're sitting on a toilet. So, dude, it's challenging. The first one is challenging, but once you do it once or twice, you'll get a hang of it.
I don't know if Big Cliff could sit in the woods, man. This is just not okay, man. I don't know if my mama would approve of this. I don't know if I can even. I think if I stand there and even if I squat, it might crawl back up and not even release. So I may just have to hold it and become constipated. Yes, you know how when your butthole tighten up like that and it just kind of crawls back up in there. I know, I see you laughing up in there. It's hella real though. Like sometimes it happens. So I feel like if I'm kind of squatting down in between two rocks, or maybe like I kind of got the grip around the tree and I'm just kind of doing the hangover like I heard somebody else say. I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if that's gonna work for me, man. But I'll give it a shot.
Hell yeah.
I might fish a little bit. I'm super, super stoked, though. It's going to be fun.
All right, bro. I can't wait. I can't wait to see your backpack.
Big Cliff backpack? Oh, shit, cuz. I got the JanSport ready. About to put it all up in there. Stack it in.
You just got the JanSport.
That's what we're supposed to bring, right? The JanSport? Hell yeah, I got my 8-person tent. I'm about to strap on the 8-person tent so that way in case I meet anybody up there, we could just holler. We have everybody just jump in the tent. It's going to be beautiful.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Hey, thanks for letting me come along. I'm about to dip out this motherfucker.
All right then, Big Cliff. It was good to see you, bro.
Thanks, brother. I love you, man. I love you. It's just so beautiful. Thank you. How the hell did I miss Big Cliff?
Bro, that guy is wow.
What was he doing? Like, what was the deal?
He just wanted to come say what's up and, Dude, I don't know.
Did I hear him say he was bringing a barbecue, bro?
Yeah, barbecue, some ribs, the coals on his JanSport.
This fool's trying to bring a JanSport backpacking. I don't think he's going to be able to fit everything.
Yeah. Fucking Cliff.
Well, I'm glad he's coming. It should be a good experience. Hopefully he stays sober and gets to some meetings, joins some community, all that good stuff. Well, bro, dude, I'm glad. I'm happy that you were able to come on the podcast. And like I mentioned in the beginning, you know, as this goes live, man, we're going to be rolling out to the old trail. Hopefully Big Cliff makes it in his water socks. I heard he was stoked about his water socks as well.
Yeah, water socks.
Yeah.
Wanted to use the snorkel and shit. If he brought the flippers, could have used my snorkel. You know, I was like, we might have to see about that. But yeah, dude, it's going to be, I'm looking forward to it, bro. And again, man, like, it's always a good time doing the podcast for sure. So
you just reminded me of something too. Somebody hollered at me, and I'll have to go back and look through the emails because I don't think I had forwarded it to you, just out of the forgetfulness of mind and busyness of whatever. But somebody had reached out, and I apologize if they happen to listen to this. Like I said, I got to go back and look. But you mentioned about doing the backpacking trip, and this has been on my mind the last couple of days as we lead up to this one. You know, I really would like to set some sort of sober backpacking trip up, like eventually. I know we talked about it before. Someone did reach out. I want to say they were from New York, so it wasn't a local person, but still said, "Man, great idea." So I think that is something that people would be into. Is that something that you would be okay with heading up, as far as giving out an email address for you and kind of talking about for later on, or what? You want to talk about that off?
I think that, you know, I'd have to do a little bit of research and see what all goes into that, dude. But you know that is like my dream, to be able to go out into the woods with a group of peeps and fucking hang out, have a meeting, and then fucking be out in the woods like people be out in the woods. You know what I mean? Maybe do some yoga or something.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm kind of thinking too, every man for himself kind of thing for the first one at least too. But you know, we can kind of coordinate and maybe put together a yoga session, a meditation thing, a night or two or something. But that would be fun, man. Something just, you know, on a sobriety tip and recovery tip, something like that would be pretty awesome. And I don't think Big Cliff will be coming on that one. I think him and his barbecue and his water socks are going to have to stay the fuck home.
No, dude, and it's a good opportunity to step out. You know what I mean? To step out of that box that you so often talk about. Like, even if you are an avid backpacker going with people that you don't know, or full spectrum, never going with people that you don't know. You know what I mean? So, like, I think it'd be and then even for us, like, to open that up, you know what I mean? To, you know, go with a mix of people that have gone before, all that we don't know. I think it'd be great for us to get out of our box, and whoever wanted to come to get out of their box, I think it'd be a fucking great opportunity. And that's why that's something that it's always been kind of like, you know, a dream of mine, is to kind of do that damn thing. You know what I mean? Just for fun. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah, good stuff. We'll talk a little bit about that more. I could see that coming to fruition eventually. Like, I don't know, maybe it's in the fall, maybe it's next summer. Like, I don't know, but I see that on the horizon somewhere. So here's what I want to say, man, and we'll wrap this thing up. You know, Seth and I are obviously in you know, living our lives. We're both in kind of different seasons of life. We're both going through our own things, rightfully so, some more serious than others. We're doing our best to trust in the process of where we're at and trying to understand and be conscious of that and just go with the flow and try to ride that wave and be at ease. And so I just want to encourage those of you out there listening right now, you know, I hope that makes sense. And I hope that maybe can speak to you a little bit in the fact that you can do the same thing, but it's kind of your choice, just like it's my choice, just like it's Seth's choice, to be aware of that and to, you know, to put in the work and be around people that help support us and have that support. But at the same time, it's okay to be happy. It's okay to be at ease. It's okay to feel, I guess. And I don't say that telling anybody what to do. I actually say that telling myself what to do, that it's okay to feel. It feels good for me to even verbalize that. So I appreciate the opportunity to do that because, you know, lately I have been suppressing some of that feeling and just trying to stay busy, I think, in order to, you know, just to live and even kind of zone out sometimes. So, man, I appreciate you guys listening. Seth, what do you got, man, before we wrap this thing up, bro?
I mean, you know, I can't really follow that, dude. You spoke that so eloquently and fucking great. Like, you know, one thing for me, you know, from day one was getting the opportunity to feel again, man. Like, as long as, you know, once you're able to do that, man, it's definitely life changing and recognizing our feelings and what we're going through. I think it's been great. You know, and again, obviously, man, like, it's always fun coming on and doing a podcast. Fucking super stoked for this weekend. It's going to be great, dude. So fuck yeah.
Yeah, right on, bro. I will see you at what time we leaving? 4:30 a.m. Friday morning, something like that.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, good stuff, brother. I love you, man. Thank you for coming on the podcast, being a part of my recovery. You know, leading me to sobriety at that, brother. Like, I just got mad gratitude, respect, love. Mullet homies for life, bro. Dig it. Hell yeah.
Hey,
man.
well, you couldn't have started your own course without you. So, you know what I mean?
Right on, man. All right, check us out at thatsoberguy.com. Connect with us on Instagram at realthatsoberguy, at Shane Raymer on Twitter. Peace, love, respect. Keep your blood clean. Thank you, guys. Love you.
All right, bud.
Keep my head on straight. I've been trying to keep my head on straight.
Oh, shit. Wait. I thought we ain't done? Oh, shit, man. I thought we was going backpacking. We ain't going back? Oh, man. Oh, shit, man. I lost my barbecue.
But I know what you do in the back room. And you still say that I don't know anything about you. Oh, I don't know anything about you. But I know what you do in the back.